I'd like to give you an overview of this career mapping workshop before we begin. First, I think there are 3 things that get you into the door to a job and get you hired. The first is your personality. Most of the time when people make that final hiring decision, they're really checking to see if your personality is a good fit with the other people that are working at that organization. Some of the things that make you you are your biggest selling points when you go to get a job. The second is your education. Oftentimes you won't get an interview or you won't get in the door if you don't have prerequisite education for whatever position you're applying for. And the third thing is experience. There are times when professional experience can substitute for education. So I think if we look at those 3 things, you can dream yourself into a career that you love. I want to map that. The first step is to know yourself. What's your fundamental personality? What do you value? What do you want in a career? What makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? The next step is to dream big. I think a lot of people who find themselves in a rut got there because they hadn't bothered to dream big enough about what they wanted in their career. This is the time when you're taking into account how much time do you want to be indoors, outdoors, how important is the meaningful nature of your work compared to your salary. The third step in my career mapping process is to define your career path. You can do this by taking that dream job that you've just invented and seeing if anybody currently holds that job. And if they do, how did they get there? What can you learn from the paths of other people that can inform your own career path? And step 4, make a plan to follow your bliss. In this, I suggest that you make a plan, a 1-year, 5-year, 10-year plan that will take you to the job that you'd really like. Now, for some people, the idea of following a plan is abhorrent, but for others, it's comforting. And there's something about the process of making a plan that teaches you about what you want out of the steps you'll take along the way. For some people, a better approach is to actually follow your bliss. You make this plan and then you kind of throw it out the window. You go to find the first job that makes you happy and you do that. And that will probably open the door to the next job that makes you happy. And just sort of following your groove can really take you to a satisfying career. And the 5th thing I think that's really important when you're mapping your career and when you're living your career is to make sure that it fits. If you're one of those people who likes to make a plan in the beginning, 5 years later, you need to check to make sure that plan still fits who you are at that moment. Check to see if your job is still satisfying you in the ways that you hoped that it would. Let's get going.